Listener discretion is advised.
And I approve this message. Into this. I know what time it is. Hello, everyone. Hello. Sorry, so sorry about being late. Well, let me tell you, I had some wonderful excuses. First of all, right before we get ready to go on, Danny's, the reason that chair's empty, his father-in-law had a stroke, and it became a 911 ambulance, take him to the emergency room, hospital, blah, 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 drama. So Danny won't be here today. We wish him and family all the best. I got rear-ended, okay? So this show was, there was something out there trying to keep this from happening. But sitting in for Danny, I scoured the earth and did the best that I could, and absolutely nobody would do it, so I ended up with Fred Cray. Hey, how about that? So we've got Fred. Are you there?
I am. That's not very high praise.
Well, Shirley Hempfield was busy, and so, I said, hey, what about Fred Cray? I thought about huh?
What about Oprah?
Oprah still hasn't returned Chris's call. I don't know. It's something. I know, Dr. Cosby is doing stand-up. He's all over the country and the world. So getting him in here has been really hard. But Oprah has no excuse. The big show is not on.
The question is Bill still all there?
Bill's pretty much all there, and if he's not.
I saw him on Jimmy Fallon, and I wondered a little bit.
Oh, really? How long ago?
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
It's funny, but I mean, he seemed a little, off.
Yeah, probably angry. Something's pissed him off. He stays pissed off, but there's a lot to be pissed off about. First, let me say early, since we won't be around, Happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there around the world listening to us and everybody trying to practice their English. I'll say that for you in all 18 countries that we're seen in. I'm going to say it for you, tell you how to say it in your language. Happy Father's Day. Okay? So in whatever language you're speaking, it said Happy Father's Day. Try that 3 times behind me, and everybody in Ukraine and different places, get back to me and let me know. Fred, today we got a great show. Yes. We pretty much got one guest other than, Paula and trying to save our dogs, okay? We have Charlie and Star, okay? Now, for those of you who don't know who Star is, but, everybody watching this show probably does. The video that you saw of the police shooting the pit bull in Times Square in Manhattan, time flies so doggone fast. I must say like 8 months ago or something like that maybe. Well, it's had probably 1 million hits on YouTube, so everybody's pretty much seeing it. You familiar with that, right, Fred?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they're with us today. Star, unlike a lot of people thought Star was dead and had passed away. Look, I got a magical pit bull can just spinning right there in front of me, boy. Have you guys tried this stuff? Listen, okay, I can officially say, after a car accident, okay, when you're sitting at the light and you're late trying to get to your show, you got 15 minutes to get there, somebody runs into the back of your car, and it's not even your car, okay? Because your car's in the shop, and somebody loans you their car. What do? You go
I hope your insurance follows you.
Yeah, me too. You go to your trunk, and you pull out a can of Pitbull energy drink. And then, you know, when Reggie or Jose or Esteban or, you know, Bill says, I don't have no driver's license, I don't have no insurance, you don't go to jail. You reach out and you get a Pitbull energy drink, okay? So then you go and do your radio show that you're 15 minutes late for. All right, so now that that's done, Fred,
Yes.
I want to get right to, you know, Charlie and Star. What do you say? We can.
Yes, I think it's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, let's just get to them. You know, everybody's been waiting and sitting around, and a lot
But
of
I
this.
do want to say that you have to announce the new interface for RC for your
RMC.
show. I mean, there's a whole new website,
Oh, really?
all different pictures, a whole different style, easier navigation.
Hey, let me. You know what?
And,
Hey, Fred. That's interesting that you say that because it's so new. I can't even get it. They changed the password on the internet feed too. So everything is new around here. So that means I believe that we won't have any more gremlins and losing shows. So
it's too bad we're not new.
Yeah, there you go. It's a new day.
I'd like
Chris,
to be newer.
Chris, can we get Charlie up? All right. So we need to go to commercial? Okay. All right. So as my technical engineers work on the technical engineering part of magically pulling Star and Chris up for us, Star and Chris, I just changed the name, Star and Charlie. So that will be happening as we speak. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to get on the internet myself again. And what else? Oh, I wanted to say on a lighter note to reach out to, it was two things. One, we want to give our RMC Conversations with a Pitbull condolences to Ruby D, who was, you know, if Rosa Parks was the mother of the civil rights movement and just equal rights for women and everyone else in the world, then Ruby D would have to be, you know, your great aunt, or, you know, that aunt that always told your mama, you know, don't beat that boy. So Ruby D, we take our hats and salute our pit bulls to you, my dear. Second and last thing I want to say real quick before we go to Star and Charlie is, Charlie's here? Okay, all right, then we'll come back. Okay, no, I'm going to do Tracy Morgan. You know, boy, get your butt up out that hospital bed. Okay, so we're glad you're still here, and, you know, we're so glad. Here's a pit bull to you, brother. Okay, let's bring Charlie and Star, Fred. Bam. Are we there, Charlie?
Yes.
How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Have you met Fred Crane?
No, I have not.
Okay, Fred, meet Charlie.
Charlie, good to meet you.
Good to meet you. Can
So-
you see Star?
Yeah, we can. That's
Yes.
a great camera angle you got there, man. I'm sorry that we didn't shoot you out of Pitbull to have, you know, for you and Star licking on right about now. He would have just sorry we're late, man. We, you know, this was a day unlike any other day that I've had and seen, you know, and we've had some different things trying to keep this show from happening, but, you know, today was two of the unique ones. So welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So what's that you got in the background there?
That's a picture, a mural on the wall of New York City. We're,
Okay,
we
I
got
was
New York
wondering
in
if
our heart.
maybe I thought maybe you were like underground in this secret bunker or something.
Well, no, they had Star there for a number of months. No, we got her out of that.
Yeah. Well, tell us, Charlie, let's start at the beginning. First of all, let's kill a misnomer, because a lot of people out there believe that you were the guy that was on the ground in the video in New York who had the seizure or whatever it was. That's not you.
No, that's not true. That was Lex Stankiewicz, Star's previous owner.
Okay. So let's start at the beginning, Charlie. Why don't you and we made it so that, you and Star are only guests right now. Star doesn't speak, does she?
She don't speak, but I tell you, you kind of know what she's thinking.
Okay. All right. Then that's good.
She got a half a smile right now.
Okay. And at some point during this next few minutes, I'm going to ask if you can get her up higher or we can get your camera down. Not right now. What I want to do is let's start at the beginning and just tell our audience about Star, and let's talk about the event and just give them everything that they haven't heard right now, because there's so many questions that people have.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. Star was shot about 4:15 East Coast time on August 13, 2012. I'm a native New Yorker living out in Nebraska. I checked the online news of New York Daily News, and I seen that horrific video. And I just had a lot of questions, And when the video showed Star being shot, it apparently appeared as if she had died. And subsequently, a couple hours later, and I got the articles on her Facebook page, the New York spokespeople said that she had died. There was no silver lining in the story, because there were some people that thought she had lived, but the NYPD had said she had died. I didn't accept that 100%. I just had some questions. And, I'm always out in Nebraska. I haven't been in New York and know what facilities run anything, but I took some still shots of the video and seen it said NYC ACC. And I was able to get some phone numbers and to start to get my quest to find out what really happened. One of the things I did find out was the spokesman, Richard Gentles, had a LinkedIn profile. I immediately sent him an invite to connect, and he quickly sent me back his cell phone and his personal email. So now I knew that I had some information there. I waited for a few hours later to keep up on the news reports. And the other report came out in the Daily News that Star was alive, but the prognosis was not good. And I was ready to find out the truth. So Tuesday morning, I called the NYC ACC up, and what I did was, there she is, she's standing up. What I did was I called up and I hit the administrative button, and I waited for someone to answer. And this lady, Renee, answered, and I said to her from my business line that I'm calling about recycling. And she was more than happy to tell me that they had some efforts in the office to recycle, and they were going green. Spent about 15 minutes on the phone. And I said to her, hey, I'm a long way away from New York. I heard that a pit bull was shot. She says, honey, a lot of dogs come our way. You got to give me an ID number. I said, I don't have an ID number. I said, it's that dog that was shot by the NYPD. And at that point, she typed into the computer, and she says, oh, yeah, we have that dog. It's at an off-site vet. I said, are you sure it's at a good vet? And she says, oh, yeah, it's at the Manhattan Vet on Fifth Avenue, as if I would know. So I said, how do you know it's alive? She says, well, the status hasn't changed on the computer, so we know that she's alive. At that point, I called up the vet. They couldn't give me any information, but I knew that the dog was alive. And at that point, I sent Richard Gentles an email, and I also started to call the Daily News and say, hey, this dog is alive,
Right. Now, let me pause you. Let me pause you for a second right there. Number one, later on, did you find out was all this standard practices? And the reason that the city took the dog, because the guy on the ground, just to back up for a second, did he die?
No, he did not die. Actually, he didn't die. He was taken to the hospital, and for his seizure and given a citation for having an open container of alcohol. I don't know if it was a previous or was at the time, and he was released from the hospital.
Okay.
And there's a nice article written by the East Village Times that Miracle Mutt survives, and basically Lex Stankiewicz, he winds up going back to Poland. I offered some help to Lech through Collide, the homeless organization in New York City, to help him. Originally, I wanted to help this guy get back on his feet because I didn't like. See, Johnny Rodriguez, let me back up for a second. The gentleman that shot the film.
Charlie. Yeah. I need to pay the bills so you and I can keep talking. So hold on, and they're going to take us off, and we'll be back in 1 minute after we pay some bills.
Hey, are you tired of those same old energy drinks with bad taste? Make a switch to Pit Bull Energy Drink with a guaranteed no aftertaste. Pit Bull offers more energy with ginseng and vitamins B6 and B12. With a ginger ale lemon lime flavor, Pit Bull meets the consumer's demand for better tasting and healthier energy products with a guaranteed no aftertaste. Make a switch to Pit Bull Energy Drink. Pit Bull offers more energy with ginseng and vitamins B6 and B12. With a ginger ale lemon lime flavor, Pit Bull meets the consumer's demand for better tasting and healthier energy products. For more information on Pit Bull energy drinks, bars, and mixes, visit their website at hiphopbev.com. That's hiphopbev.com. Online orders available at hiphopbev.com.
That's hiphopbev.com. Could you guys tell that was me, Fred?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
And I think you should get that group Bev something and DeVoe to do that advertising.
Yeah, right. Well, we gotta talk about Pitbull Energy Drink, man. Their company. I mean, we'll talk about that later privately, Fred, because they've been very, very good to me, and I may need you guys to help them be very, very, just a little bit very, very. Okay, so Charlie, let's get
you
back
and Garrett Morris.
Yeah. Let's get back to this story, sir. Fred, do you have anything for Charlie before we continue with it?
No, I want to hear more of the story first.
Yeah. Okay. Charlie, continue, sir.
Okay. So basically, I wanted to help Lex Stankiewicz, and Penny Tilton, an examiner, wrote an article that said, "Where is Lex Stankiewicz?" Because one Nebraska businessman is looking to help him. I wanted to help Lex because when I started to dive into this story more, I started to find out more information, such as Johnny Rodriguez videotaped the shooting. The two officers that were at the shooting had been giving a citation on that block, and he had called them over because he was scared of Lex having the seizure. And when they came over, they were already a little annoyed, and they didn't know that Lex had a seizure. They just thought he had passed out being a drunk or a drug addict on the street, and they prodded him with the foot. And there's many references to that in many different articles. So when they did that, it got Starr agitated. And as you can see when the video starts, there are people close to Starr, but the police are in the middle of the street because they already tried to mace her, and there's a bunch of mace in the street. So knowing all this information, I wanted to help Lex, and the message got to him through Collide, but he decided that he didn't want the help, that I was going to offer him a job, maybe treatment if he needed it, if he did have a problem. It just never became realistic for him to make that decision to take the help. But in the same time, Starr became a cloud of secrecy shortly after she was shot. Mm-hmm. They were very quiet about it. Usually if a dog gets shot, there's photographs at the vet, there's photographs of after the surgery. We don't have any of that with Starr. After she was shot, then there was a point where they didn't talk about it, and she went off the map for about 10 days because spokesman Richard Gentle said that she's going to get surgery. And that's when a time came out that a lot of people got very suspicious if she was even alive, if they were going to switch her for another dog, or if we were going to get a story that she died. Because the NYC ACC produced photographs of Star that didn't look like she was shot. And they were still photographs of her in a kennel. And the public did not buy it. They did not buy it. There was no wounds. There was nothing. And she had both eyes.
And how long ago was this after the incident?
That was probably 10 days after she was shot. The first article comes out about 2 weeks after she's shot. We see a new Star. We see Star having lost a bunch of weight. We see Star missing an eye. And we have those horrible photographs in the beginning of her sitting in that kennel and just looking just like, she's not going to make it. But now, then at that point, the Lexus Project, Defense Fund for Dogs, gets involved and takes ownership of Star. And it gets a little murky, at least for me. I'm not a lawyer, to know what exactly was going on. They took ownership of Star for a brief while, and then they transferred her to the Mayor's Alliance, which I know they became the owners of Star. So at this point now, this is where she goes into hiding. She no longer is out in the public anymore. The Mayor's Alliance basically makes a statement, and don't quote it exactly. Star is going to go into rehab. She's going to leave the area, and that's all there was going to be.
Now, the Mayor's
So we don't know where the Star is.
The Mayor's Alliance is what? Is that the Mayor of New York?
No, it's like the Federal Reserve is not the federal. It's like FedEx. I mean, it's like the Mayor's Alliance is a name for a rescue group that has all the sub-rescues in New York City. And for anybody out there, if I'm misquoting this, don't beat me up. Like New Hope Partners, Second Chance Rescue, all these rescues that are under the Mayor's Alliance.
Right.
They do a lot of wonderful stuff. And
right.
And for Star, they were able to get her the rehab she needed.
Right.
Let me interrupt for a second and explain what the Lexus Project does, because I happen to know Richard Rosenthal, who runs the Lexus Project. Basically, what happens is when a dog is involved in an incident, and the owner, they create a trust, and they put money in the trust for the dog, and then the dog becomes their property. And then they are able to negotiate with whoever animal control is, or whoever it is that's involved in deciding what's going to happen to the dog. And I'm sure what happened here was that they negotiated. The police were obviously saying she was aggressive and had to be shot, and they wanted to put her to sleep or something, or declare her dangerous. And they negotiated some kind of settlement where the dog would go to the Mayor's Alliance and have rehab, and maybe on top of that, be sent out of the city. Does that sound right?
That does sound right. And the Lexus Project, Robin, was always kept a line of communication to me. I had reached out to her, and she was limited to what she can say. But when the dog left New York City, we didn't know where she went. None of us knew where she went.
That's usually what they do. I mean, they don't want people to know, because in previous situations, but Mickey was in the Lexus Project also, if people know where this dog goes and they don't like it, they may threaten the owners. They may, do all kinds of things, send death threats. So typically when a dog has been involved in a situation like this, they try to keep that information private for that reason.
That's a good reason. Okay. So
well, can you imagine, you remember Mickey, the dog that mauled a kid who went over when the dog was trying to take the bone out of his mouth? They made a deal with, they were involved in that case also, but there were a lot of people that didn't like Mickey. And, you can poison a dog. There's all kinds of things that people in that situation can do. It's better if it's private.
Okay, so Charlie, let's tell us about Star's rehab and how she ended up with you, and what was the, how many times so she was maced and then she was shot.
Correct. And then maced some more.
Okay. And where she was maced after she was on the ground shot?
Yes, as you can see in the video, that second officer, a lot of people, he pulled the gun out briefly, but that's Macy spraying at her.
Okay.
I mean, these when you watch that video, you think you got T-Rex in the street. I mean, those officers at one point, they both had their gun out, and they could have been shooting in each other's direction. And I want to say this.
Was there ever any internal investigation done about whether what they did was right or not?
I don't believe so. There's probably some. I spoke to Detective Brown from the 9th Precinct, and you know, I brought up a lot of interesting facts that, you know, that same month we had 9 innocent bystanders being shot in front of the Empire State Building in 2012 in August. Then there was another guy that had some mental issues that they shot in Times Square. And I just said, this just seems to be a little out of hand. And,
Yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, that was not my cause. That was not my cause to even get into that level of what was right, what was wrong. All I know is I seen a dog on video that was shot. And then all of a sudden, Johnny Rodriguez said the shooting was completely justified after he had gone to the 9th Precinct. And I didn't feel that way. And I felt as though Lec and Star needed some help. And if I needed some help, I'd want a person like me behind him. And the only thing I will disagree on is I understand the Mickey case, there was a bigger shroud of secrecy with Star. This was a situation.
Yes,
there was definitely a bigger shroud of secrecy because the public couldn't even get to see any photos of her in the vet or anything. I mean, with Mickey, they always gave us updates, even at the shelter. We'd see him in this kennel. We kind of knew what was going on. We didn't get to know too much about Star. But Star then, after Lec declined my help, we didn't know where Star went. And I would call up Robin from the Lexus Project and say, hey, can we get an update? Can we get this? Can we get that? She wound up getting us a video of Star at this undisclosed location, which was pretty good, and the public got to see Star running around. And then they started to put some photographs on the Mayor's Alliance website, their Facebook page. And I started to lean towards Pennsylvania because, you know, I'm a retired correctional officer. I'm a New Yorker at heart. And I looked at that terrain, and I looked at there was no front license plates on those cars. And I said, man, this is close to New York. I think it could be Pennsylvania. And then in one of the pictures, they had a semi there. And I was able to get a screenshot of those numbers on the semi, and it was registered to a Philadelphia, Pennsylvania company. So I started to put these pieces together that this dog is probably in Pennsylvania. And I started to do some research and call places. Hey, do you got a pit bull missing an eye? You have a pit bull that had some surgery? And it was always a phone call, no, no, no. And then
you're quite the detective.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I kept on doing that, and I wasn't getting nowhere.
Well,
and then
Charlie, yeah, I was going to expound on what Fred said. Is, you know, you put a lot of work into finding Star and getting her. I mean, and I guess your correctional officer background helped out with that. But before you continue, because this is what I'm trying to get clear. Is there any videotape of what happened prior to the one that's got the million views on YouTube of what happened, what the police did that sort of led up to the dog being shot? Because just the little part that you see when the dog runs at the officer, hey man, that's a judgment call. 6 in one hand, half a dozen in others. See, now the problem here is that there's so many police shootings. Fred, and I don't know the stats. I read somewhere it was like damn near 1 an hour in the United States of police shooting dogs or something. But the thing is, the pit bull's running at the officer. It's middle of Manhattan. See the guy on the ground. We didn't see enough. So with all the research that you've done, you said that the police were kicking the guy instead of even bending over to say, sir, the fact that they're kicking him with their foot, and this is the dog's owner. I would hope that my dog would be doing something if I'm asleep or whatever and somebody's kicking me or picking my pocket. But is there any videotape of what happened before that, or how did you find out what happened?
Well, I only found out what happened from reading the stories and the eyewitnesses that were there. Here is what I know, which is what I know. Whether that happened or didn't happen, I didn't see that. And there's no pictures of it or no video. But the reason Johnny Rodriguez videotaped or started the videotape is it was a seemingly benign situation, which his main concern was his head was close to the gutter and he wanted to get the police over there. The dog wasn't even an issue at that point. What we know from the video is if the police main objective was to get help to Lek and Star was in the way, then after they shot Star and incapacitated her, why did nobody go over to Lek to check his pulse? You know,
well, that's the question. That's the question. Lek, and Charlie, they all look alike. Hey, I gotta take a break. They're signaling me because somebody's gotta pay for this. So we'll be right back. hold that thought for 30 seconds or something like that. All right. Thanks.
Are you a diabetic? Need some energy? Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink is the healthiest, best-tasting energy drink around. For more information and online ordering with free shipping, please visit hiphopbev.com. Remember, Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, suitable for diabetics, great for everyone.
Hey, and we're back. Okay, so we've got roughly 10 minutes left in the show, and I have to try to get in touch with Paula Archer to see if she's gonna come on and do the dog thing. But so let's continue, Charlie.
Okay, so what we know is Lek is never checked on, and there's still photographs of him when the whole thing's over with. He's thrown on the stretcher like a piece of New York trash. I mean, that was the main thing. If the police were concerned about Lek's well-being and they used the excuse that they had to get in there to help him, I don't understand why they didn't check his pulse. As a correctional officer, if I came upon a human being that was passed out, the first thing I'm going to do is look, listen to see if they're breathing, and if they're not, I'm going to make sure that they are. So Star gets shot. Lek is not checked on. The problem with the police is they didn't handle crowd control. That woman who came over to try to calm the situation down, that Star is seen in the video running her off, the police should have did a better job of keeping the people away. But the police are in the middle of the street because, in my opinion, they agitated the situation and made it worse. So moving ahead, first off, if you meet Star in person and just recently...
We only have a short amount of time, so if we could just get to the point where you're looking for her and you find her. You find her someplace?
Yes. I find her at the National Greyhound Adoption Program. I called them up. I found her. They were quite shocked that they had me on the phone. I asked to come see her, and they said, well, I don't think that's a possibility. At first, they didn't even admit that they had her, but then I said, you have her, and David Wolf is he's the director and founder of the National Greyhound Adoption Program. And I asked him, and he says, yes, I have the dog. I said, can I come see her? He says, well, I'm going to have to check with the Mayor's Alliance. I don't know. I said, look.
Yeah, there could be some kind of court order or yes, some kind of thing that they agreed to that you're not privy to. But you finally did adopt her, right?
Yes. Well, it wasn't that easy. I went to visit her, and I couldn't take pictures of her. I couldn't talk about it, which I did not talk about it. And right. I visited her. And the thing that happens when you meet Star is I thought I was going to see a formidable big dog that, she's anything but that. She's the sweetest, gentlest girl with the smoothest hair who's a big cuddle, as you can see in the picture, in the video right now.
Yes, we can see that. We can see that.
Yeah, so, I mean, she's a baby. I mean, but yet she's a powerful dog. So yes. I met her. And the staff there was pretty interested in seeing how it would be because she took to me right away. I mean, I remember them first moments of meeting her, and I called her name. Hey, Star Girl, it's me, Charlie. And I got to hug her. And I spent 2 days with her there at the NGAP. And then I went back home to Nebraska.
Where in Nebraska?
Lincoln, the capital.
I went to law school there for 3 years.
UNL?
Yes.
Well, hey, that's amazing. You know what? And Fred, I made sure my car didn't stop in Lincoln. No, in Nebraska. But guys, listen. Charlie, you and Star have to come back, okay? Because between my car drama and Danny's father-in-law, we started 15, 16 minutes late, and because the station has booked another show, I can't run over like we normally do. So
we understand.
Yeah, I have to bring Paula Archer on because that's part of our mission, and we've been averaging rescuing 2 dogs every week, and we don't want to really break that flow. So that's pretty much what we're about. So Charlie, I'm gonna have to let you go, and I want you to come back next week, or and again, I don't do the schedule, so it's either the next week or the week after. Everyone, I'm so sorry about being rear-ended. That's what I'm really sorry about. That
like you could control that.
Yeah, it was just when the show goes off, I'll be throwing a temper tantrum or whatever that is. Anyway, Charlie, thank you so much. Stars, thank you so much. We will have you guys back, and we're going to be doing probably 4 hours, starting in about 2 weeks or something like that on Thursdays. We'll be doing this show, and we got a bunch of other shows coming on. Foster's Animal World is going to have a whole Thursday slot of shows, and it's going to be entertaining, guys. We got some good stuff. So stay tuned. Subscribe to Foster's Animal World on YouTube. Hit us on Facebook. You know that. Going to Paula. Bye, guys. Fred, stay with us. Fred, stay with us.
Okay.
Bye, Charlie. Paula? No. Fred? Who do I have there? Oh, okay. So while the technical techniques are being worked out, Pitbull energy drink. Okay, for those of you who are wondering about the updates on Breeder X, it is happening. The tour is a wonderful plan. We got 18 cities. It's just great, and so now it's just finances. The only thing that's stopping us from kicking off. Next week, I know we're gonna have a Pitbull March. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, since my time is limited, you can save some dogs, Paula.
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it, dear.
We have Libby. Libby is a 1-year-old female. She was found as a stray. If you would be interested in giving Libby a new home, please call 843-841-8884. Libby is located at the Dillon County Animal Shelter in Dillon, South Carolina. And if you need to, hit me up after the show for any of these any more information or any phone numbers. Up next, Destiny, a 3-year-old owner surrender who literally shakes in her kennel. She has scars on her body, and she was not taken very well care of in her last home. Hopefully, she'll get the chance to see what a loving family is like. She's located at Camden County Animal Shelter, and that's in Blackwood, New Jersey. That's south of New Jersey. And the phone number to get information on her is 856-401-1300. Now we have Luke. Luke is a wonderful boy. He loves attention, and he is very affectionate. He is under 1 year in age and weighs around 50 pounds. He was found in Satsuma area. Please help him find his forever home. He is in Palatka, Florida, 386-329-0396. Rabbit is our next little girl up, and she is urgent. The pound is full. She's a very, I'm sorry, he is a very friendly boy, and he seems to be scared of his own shadow. He does know some basic commands. He's in Richland County, dog warden, and that's Mansfield, Ohio, 419-774-5892. Now, next up, you know I have a love for seniors. Skylie is an 8-year-old female pit. She is absolutely sweet and very reserved. She has plenty of energy and loves to take walks. If you are looking for a companion who already knows the ins and outs of home living, then come in and meet her. She's at Cuyahoga County Animal Shelter, and that's Valley View, Ohio, 216-525-4827. Now, these next 3 that I have, these dogs are urgent. They're in a heart stick facility in Abbeville, Louisiana. They are already scheduled to die. So please, if you can help them, don't delay. They're urgent. Hit me up. I can get you a phone number. We have Sneaky. She is a female Staffordshire Terrier, and she is 2 years old. She weighs approximately 34 pounds. She's scheduled to die on 6/20. Next, we have Big Boy. He is a male, 8 to 9 months old. Just a baby. He weighs 45 pounds. He is also scheduled to die on 6/20. And lastly, we have Picana. She is a female pit, and she is a year old. She weighs approximately 40 pounds. She is scheduled to die on July the 3rd. Vermilion Parish Shelter in Abbeville, Louisiana. If you have any questions, please contact the facility, 337-366-0212. And last week we had Keno Sapphire. Banana Joe was adopted. Bruce and Betty were rescued.
Okay, so thank you, baby, and let's get those dogs rescued. Paula, Fred, I'm feeling a little whiplash here now, man. Now that everything to calm down, I might have to give you a call.
Well, you know what? This show would be evidence that you never were injured.
Yeah, right. So there, we just lost a piece of another show.
Down.
We out of here. I'll see you guys on Facebook, and I'll see you on Pitbull Legal Bulletin on what day, Fred? Speak quick.
Tuesday.
That's what I said. Tuesday at 5 o'clock Central Time. That would be East Coast, Florida time. See you guys. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week.
I'm a Pitbull, and I approve this message.